it's very interesting. The game crashed on me halfway through lap number 3, and that is just infuriating. But in the meantime, we've got a battle then between the likes of the Danish guy literally catching up to, I believe, Panos Forganis. I think there's been a change roughly thereabouts, but we're on to lap number 6, so I do apologise for that, guys. The game completely crashed, and it's really been annoying so far this evening. But hey ho, what can you do? You can't do much about it. But we're back again for part 3 of the stream, so I do apologise for that. But looks like Kungston has got through, of course. Panos Forganis has got past for that second place at the moment with the likes of Chris Wheatley. He's dropped down, so it's Stu Shelton chasing after him, but it's going to be thereabouts. We'll see exactly how close it's going to get. But Brian Moncani still an Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now it's 7 actually, because Adam Morgan's got up into 7th. So the Alphas are occupying the top 7 places at the moment, with the likes of the field. So Brucey Collins is there in, of course, 6th place at the moment. Don't know if anyone's pitted as of yet. I'll get the data up so we can have a look to see whether they're still out there. I think there's quite a few people. Obviously lap times haven't, what people have set haven't reset for me, but looks like STM Splash then still out on his softs that he had previously, so he's going to be thereabouts, but still leading the race then, of course, with the Danish driver making his debut tonight in Eldar Sim. But he's thereabouts with the likes of Panos Forganis chasing him down. And looks like the soft tyres at the moment are literally going off on the Alphas at the moment, so if you're on the softs, I think it'll be time to make a pit stop. And I think Panos is the first to blink out of the Alpha runners, so he will be going into pit lane, no doubt. And then of course Stu Shelton, and then of course Brian Moncani, and then of course Adam Morgan going down into the chase there with, of course, Brucey Collins. Then you've got, of course, Andy White, Nick in currently 10th versus Darren Baldwin, so they're going to be battling for potentially 10th and 11th. Almost nose to tail for Darren. He's going to try and push on. He's going to try and make a move on the McLaren into the chase. Is he going to be able to do it? He thinks about it, goes on that line, tries to get, oh, he's got a bit crossed up there, but he's did a bit of a Japanese drift there to try and get past Nick, but Nick says not any life sunshine. But it will be very interesting to see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of Darren and of course Nick. These two having a nose to tail. They're having quite a nice battle at the tail of the field. I think it's going to try and set the tone between the pair of them if we can, but we'll see if Darren gets in front of Nick. He's got past the McLaren, so the only fans McLaren has to drop down a bit, but then you've got Brian Moncani 5th. It looks like where's Panos at? Dropped down to 9th, so he's on a bit of a on the mediums now, so we'll try and get the display up when I can, but it's going to be thereabouts. I do apologise for 3 parts of the stream. It's not been easy, but we'll see exactly how close it's going to get. I think the Danish driver is going to try and push on, but I think the likes of Gatanis there, I think he was Latvian, I'm not too sure, but he's doing very well in, of course, that Alpha, trying to push on, but I think his tyres are almost worn, so I think he will be the next one to pit, I think. So we'll see exactly how close that is going to be. I think he's actually staying out for another lap, so a bit brave and gutsy stuff. So the Alphas are literally pushing on, so it looks like the maybe the top 5 Alphas if Brian Moncani stays out. And obviously, well, the top 6 Alphas, because obviously we've had a Morgan, but see how close it's going to get. But it's thereabouts, isn't it, for the Welshman, making up ground after a bit of a shocking opening lap. But could be very interesting to see what will happen with the likes of Brucey Collins now in, of course, 7th place. Andy White now in, of course, 8th. Looks like Panos is going to try and catch him as best as he can in that Alpha. But he was the first to pit then. Then, of course, Darren Baldwin still staying out there in the Nissan Silvia, trying to push on as best as he can. But he must be aching at the moment. But 10th place at the moment on lap 7. But it will be thereabouts. Let's see what Nick's going to do. Is Nick going to be out and push that McLaren as best as he can? He's obviously not having the best of luck. He had a bit of a shunt first lap, but I'm sure he will be picking up cars bit by bit. But look at the gap that Katanis has from Kungston there. He's around 5.1 of a second, 5.2 now as to go down the mountain. It seems like Chris Wheatley's going to be trying to catch up. Stu Shelton is on a mission. He's 1.9 seconds. Brian McCartney is 16, maybe no, 17.0 of a second from, of course, Stu Shelton, and around 3.9 of a second from, of course, Adam Morgan, and of course Brucey Collins. So there's not really much. Cars are sort of equally spread out at the moment. The likes of Andy White and, of course, Panos. Panos may catch him, but it's going to be very interesting to see what's happening with these guys. But we'll see exactly how close it's going to get. But Andy White is there with the likes of Panos. Then you've got Darren Baldwin still in 10th. Nick's trying to push on, but I think McLaren's having a bit of issues at the moment. We'll see exactly what's going to happen within a lot of interest to see how close it's going to get. But Katanis then still staying out there. He's probably trying to make the most of his soft tyres last a bit. But it's going to be getting very close to see what's going to happen with Kungston, because he's trying to get the Danish Alpha up into of course first place. But then you've got Chris Wheatley still thereabouts. He's going to be pushing on quite a bit, but he's going to be there. Stu Shelton still 5th, then Brian Mulcahy a bit close as you like. He's still in 5th place at the moment with Adam Morgan in obviously his usual Friday night livery, and of course Brucey Collins versus, of course, Andy White. But Andy White's got Panos trying to chase him down. There's not really much battles because with the cars equally spread out, but then I think Panos is going to catch up, of course, to Andy White's Subaru WRX very shortly. But then I think you've got Darren's Nissan trying to push away. Nick's in the background, so you can see the McLaren. We're on lap 9 already. Not too sure how long the laps are going to be, because it seems a lot of interest. But Darren's still thereabouts. Has Panos managed to catch up to Andy White? Yes, he has, going down the mountain section here at Bathurst. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen. But could be very close for the likes of Panos trying to get past Andy White's WRX. But going down Conrad Straight then for the 9th time, it could be very careful. But still got STM Splash still leading the race though in that other Alpha. So it seems the Alphas are literally nose to tail. But Andy White runs a bit wide there in the chase, but Panos gets forced onto the grass there. But Brian Mulcahy is yet to blink, or he's blinked there as Panos gets past Andy White for that 9th place. But Andy White will say not in your life, but it's now 7th and 8th, because with Brian going into pit lane, looks like a very interesting strategy and we'll see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of STM Splash. He's still out on them softs. We'll see exactly how close it's going to get, but onto lap 10 then. Let's see if we can get the time up, see how long's left in the race. Don't think we can tell at the moment, but that's all there is at the moment. Can't tell whether we're at the halfway mark or in the hour, but you can see Kungston there trying to literally push on as best as he can. He's doing so well to try and catch up to Katanis, but then you've got Chris Wheatley, and then of course Stu Shelton, then of course Adam Morgan, then Brucey Collins is now going over Skyline, and then of course Panos still with that penalty as Andy White gets a bit crossed up, almost smashes into the wall, which he doesn't want to be doing because he's trying to chase down Panos for that potentially now 7th place at the moment, but he may catch up to Panos because Panos has that 5/10 penalty. But that's where we're going to be roundabout pushing on for quite some time. But looking at the deceleration line is next, but Katanis and Kungston go into pit lane, then they're going to be going out, but that means Chris Wheatley inherits the race lead. He'll get a point for that, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of Stu Shelton being of course second, and then of course Katanis and Kungston in pit lane, so that's going to be a bit of a memento. We'll see exactly how close that's going to get. Brucey Collins of course in now 4th, so it's going to be Panos and of course Andy White. Are they going to be able to leapfrog the two in front, or the two in front going to get out pit lane before they get there? They're putting fuel and of course tyres on in the car, so will be very interesting to see exactly what's happened. But STM Splash, he's out in front, he's on the mediums. I believe the newcomer is on the hards, I believe, as Darren jumps into pit lane, and then of course Nick in of course now 9th place, followed by Brian Moncani now will be 10th. So on to lap number 11. It's a bit of a interesting race at the moment. The Alphas have obviously pushed on quite a bit with the likes of how they maintained, but Brucey Collins spoiling that symmetry, and of course 4th place at the moment. He's thereabouts. He's going to try and push on and see how far he can get, but looking what's going on, I think Chris Wheatley will be the next to pit, followed by Stu Shelton and of course Adam Morgan. I think Brucey Collins will be also the next to pit. So I think the likes of Andy White might be pitting. Not too sure whether he's pitted as of yet, but it looks like it according to the timing screen. And I think Nick is going to be the next one. And then obviously Brian Mulcahy's pitted, and then of course Darren's also pitted. So Chris Wheatley sparking his way down towards Murray's corner. He's almost there, but Stu Shelton also stays out. Adam Morgan, what's he doing? Is he going to plan a strategy? These guys that have raced endurance races previously know the strategy, they know the game, they know exactly how it is. Brucey Collins is another guy that knows a lot about strategy. He is there, it's still there, as Katanis goes through the chase with Panos trying to catch him up now. So the Alphas still trying to make their symmetry known, aren't they? But Andy White there, and of course 7th place at the moment with the likes of Nick. Where's Nick going down Conrad Straight? At the moment with the likes of Brian Mulcahy as well as Darren Baldwin. I think Darren's just taking it steady, I think, with this driving one-handed. A bit of a task, but we'll soon find out exactly how close it's going to get for him. But he's currently there in of course 11th for the moment, but Chris Wheatley's on a charge going up over the top of the mountain. But just looking at Adam Morgan at the moment, what's he going to do? Is he going to try and chase down the other two? I think there's a battle almost brewing between the likes of Katanis, as he gets a bit very almost out of shape. I think it's just with the lobby getting out, having a bit of glitches there. Then you've got Panos trying to push away. I think he's trying to push away from, of course, Andy White at the moment. These two had a bit of an issue earlier on, but seems to have calmed themselves down a bit. But then you've got Kungston, of course, in 8th. Of course, Nick in 9th, not staying out with that McLaren. But Brian Moncani, he's on a mission. Brian Moncani, the Pescarolo colours, he's on a mission with that Alpha 155. So obviously Brian's on a mission, the Belgian, literally there, but he's going to try and chase after Nick. I think he'll catch up to Nick. I think that McLaren's a bit eager, I think, at the moment, but we'll see how close it's going to get. So I think Darren's just taking it steady, as I said, in that Nissan Silvio. He's actually down in 11th at the moment, but obviously it's just how it is. I think Chris Wheatley trying to take the most out of his tyres, but I think it is a movement of 5 laps, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens. Not too sure why Adam Morgan's got a 5/10 penalty. So Brucey Collins now goes into pit lane then, so the Alphas will be back into 4th, 5th, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If Panos gets to move on, yes it will, but it's now going to be an Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again, because Andy White has been overtaken, but he's thereabouts. But Brucey Collins into pit lane then. Nick locks up a brake. It looks like he's had a bit of tyre bodywork rubbing on the side with that sort of a lag there, but Nick goes into pit lane with that McLaren. It's going to be very... We'll see exactly what's going to happen with these guys, but we'll see exactly how close it's going to get. But Brian McCartney's back down in 11th place, then he's going to have to do a lot of work to try and get back up the his Brucey, but I think he's actually now gone out in 9th place. He's got Darren Baldwin, the two Sylvias almost make contact out of pit lane, but they're battling, so I think Darren's managed to get away from Brucey at the moment, but it could be very interesting. Nick was actually low on fuel, quite low on fuel, but we'll see exactly how close it's going to go for these guys. But probably halfway through the race now then, with half an hour to go in this opening round of the Eldar Endurance race. But as I say, I can't really... Yeah, we're almost at the halfway mark. Almost there. But see what Chris Wheatley can do. He's trying to escape from Stu Shelton. And of course Adam Morgan, STM Splash, doing a stellar job in 4th. But it is literally an Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as we get thereabouts. But see how close it's going to get. Brian Moncani is there in 8th, Brucey Collins in 9th. Darren's dropped out. I think Darren's probably in too much pain, so he's had to drop out. Unfortunately, that's a shame really, because he was doing so well. But there's a blue flag up the road. Not too sure who that is for, but I think Nick is actually going to get lapped here. I think Nick is actually going to get lapped. I'll just try and see exactly what's going on with the McLaren driver. But it looks like, you know, with half an hour to go in this race, then Nick's going to have to push on. I think Nick did say he was going to be at the back, and I think that's a bit unfortunate for Nick, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen for him. But Stu Shelton there, of course, in 2nd place at the moment, with the likes of Adam Morgan 4th, STM Splash Gitanis in, of course, 4th at the moment, with Panos 5th, and of course then Kungston in 6th. So it's Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the moment, with Andy White's Subaru WRX spoiling that, well, almost spoiling the symmetry of the 7 Alphas, and then of course Brucey Collins, and then of course Nick's obviously had a bit of a nightmare this evening, but he did say the McLaren was going to struggle, which I beg to differ and but we'll see exactly what's going to happen for that. But Chris Wheatley then in, of course, still first place and leading the race. I'm not too sure whether he's pitted. I'll try and get the graphic up. They're always going into pit lane because that indicator is on. We'll see exactly how close he's going to get. So he's gone into pit lane then. So that will allow Nick to break free and not get lapped unless Stu Shelton. I think Stu's also, yes, Stu's heading into pit lane. So it's quite a few guys now heading into pit lane on, of course, the end of lap number 14. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen for these guys. It's obviously Adam Morgan also jumps in, so Katanis will be potentially, depending on how close these guys get, these guys will be still thereabouts, but it'll be Katanis that goes and gets into the race lead, so he'll get a point, maybe already has the point for the race lead, but he's getting almost a trifecta with the obviously fastest lap as well. But Panos is up into second then with Chris Wheatley, Stu, Andy White back into pit lane. I think he's another pit lane, but Gunston also in pit lane. But Brian Montgarney is also there. But I tell you what, these guys that stuck the tyres out for long, fair play to them. I tell you what, Brian Montgarney will be now fourth. I'm just trying to see exactly where everyone is. Brucey Collins still in ninth. Nick, he's still in seventh. I think poor old Darren's had a bit of issues with his hand tonight, so he's obviously had to play it safe, but hopefully he is back next week. Obviously with the hour-long endurance, it is probably a lot to take in on his hand, and you know, fair play, stuck at it for quite a bit. But we've got lap 15 then, with Katanis literally leading the race from, of course, Panos and of course Chris Wheatley. Then you've got Stu Shelton, of course Brian Montgarney, he's down fifth. I think Stu Shelton leapfrogged him. Of course then Kungston, followed by Andy White. Brucey Collins, he's another one. He's going to be caught by Adam Morgan though. I think Adam Morgan's on an outlap, so you know, fair play, but catching him up quite a bit. And then of course Nick literally trying to get away from these guys. He's on lap 14 though, so he's almost a lap behind, so he's got to be very careful with that McLaren. You can see exactly how well he's pushing. I think he knows exactly what's going to happen. He said he was going to be at the back, and I didn't believe it, but it's proved me wrong. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of Katanis and of course Panos. It's got a bit cloudier now as the temperature drops. The wind speed is 2.3 miles, but could be very interesting to see if there's a tailwind. Chris Wheatley with, of course, third spot at the moment, so he's on the podium. Stu Shelton fourth. Brian Montgarney is there with, of course, Kungston, of course, the Danish driver, and then of course Andy White, and then of course Brucey Collins, getting caught rapidly now by Adam Morgan. So Nissan Silvia, the sole Nissan Silvia in the race now after Darren's retirement. But it's obviously electrical faults with the Nissan. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen for that, whether Brucey Collins gets overtaken by the Alpha or he pushes on. And of course Nick is there in, of course, 10th place with that penalty. Not too sure why I'm featured on the time screen, but it's obviously playing silly things as Katanis is still on, of course, lap 16, but it's done a 2:13.023 of a second, so it's thereabouts, but we'll see how quick it's going to go for them. But looking exactly how close it's going to get with the likes of with Panos there in second, Chris Wheatley third, Stu Shelton, Brian Mulcahy, and then of course Constant. There is the Alphas in the top 6. They're always in the top 6. It's crazy. But Andy White, though, in that Subaru WRX, he's looking feisty. Going over his skyline, he's almost trying to spoil the symmetry of Alphas. He's going to try and push on as best as he can. He's literally nose to tail between these guys at the moment. But we'll see how close it's going to get. But Andy White then having a good showing in the Subaru WRX. Adam Morgan has finally caught up to Brucey Collins and got past him, so he's in 8th place at the moment. Brucey Collins, showing this on Sylvia, and then of course Nick Sargent pushing that McLaren to its absolute limit at the moment. It seems that Katanis will be still leading the race. Then we've got around roughly trying to figure it out here at the moment, probably around 20 minutes left of racing, just about, or just under 20, probably 23 minutes of racing, under 23 and a half minutes of racing to go, so until the checker flag drops. So we'll see how close it's going to get. It's at the moment then Katanis doing a stellar job with of course Panos there in of course second place, and then of course Chris Wheatley and of course third. I'm going to be back in a minute. I'll join the resumption of this race. I'll be back in a second. I apologise about that, but let's see what's going to happen then with around, I think it's going to be around 22 and a half minutes left of racing. But looks like Chris Wheatley still in third, Stu Shelton in fourth, Brian Mulcahy still fifth in the beautiful colour scheme Alpha. Then you've got Kungston, he's literally on course to try and stay in 6th place, but Andy White's catching up very dearly. You can just see exactly how cloudy it's got here at Bathurst. It's probably going to be a bit more temperature dropped, but then you got Adam Morgan with 1.5 second penalty. Not too sure why, but Panos jumps into pit lane then, probably for another lap, but around probably now 20 minutes of racing to go, as Brucey Collins will be catching up to Adam Morgan, whereas he's going to be thereabouts. You can see the Nissan Silvia thereabouts. Where is Nick? Is still there, but it looks like the McLaren driver literally struggling for grip. I'm not too sure whether he's struggling for grip or it's just just the McLaren's tyres, but that is allowed. Panos is there now 7th. So it looks like the Alphas are near enough getting spoiled of symmetry now, so could be very careful to see exactly how it's panned out. But I think the likes of Katanis, then Chris Wheatley, and of course Stu Shelton there, they're probably going to be the next lot, but Brian Mulcahy is there. But just looking exactly how this race is panned out, it's panned out quite well so far. But then you got Andy White, he's on a mission in that Subaru WRX, trying to stop this rot of the Alphas to try and get thereabouts. But you've got of course Panos and of course Adam Morgan, the other two Alphas, literally thereabouts as Brucey Collins. He's almost there as well. He's trying to catch these guys up as well. Nick's still there. I think Nick's going to get lapped in a minute by Katanis if he's not careful, because Katanis is coming towards the chase now, but Nick's still out there in 10th place at the moment. But have we had that battle still raging on between Panos and of course Adam Morgan? Could be very interesting to see exactly how close that's going to get. But we'll see how close it's going to be with the likes of Adam Morgan and of course Brucey Collins, as there's some slightly still appearing through the clouds as we go down the mountain. It looks like Panos is literally now nose to tail, but you can see how close Adam Morgan's getting to Panos with back bumper. Gotta be careful it doesn't end in tears, but probably won't, but who knows exactly what's going to happen. But looking at the timing then, Andy White goes into pit lane then, so it's probably still going to be now an Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because now Andy White is now in pit lane, but could be very careful between these guys. But Brucey Collins is there in 8th, Andy White now in 9th, but poor old Nick's having a bit of a disaster. He's got another 3-second penalty. He's suffering quite a lot at the moment with that McLaren. It seems that Katanis is going to put a lap on him very shortly. 42.5 minutes of race time being done. And that's like around 18.5 minutes, I believe. It's a shame we don't know exactly what the time is, as Nick loses a bit of control there. Watching him, I think he was trying to get that Katanis through, but I think he panicked and thought, well, serving a penalty, it's a bit dangerous when I'm getting lapped, but we'll soon figure out exactly how well that's going. But it's now an Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but it may not be, because Brucey Collins is on a mission in that Nissan. You can just see exactly the yellow cars trying to spoil that symmetry of every single Alpha Romeo tonight. It seems the Alphas have been really thereabouts. It's almost like an Alpha race, but you know, you've got we've got 3 different manufacturers in 8th, 9th and 10th, so it's a bit of a weird one, but see how close it's getting between the likes of Adam Morgan and then of course Brucey Collins and then of course Panos. But Panos has had a extra pit stop. The other guys may be pitting for a splash and dash, but Katanis there still leading the race then with around I think that's probably going to be around 17 minutes, maybe 16 minutes now of the race. But Brian Moncani is another driver to pit now, so it'll be very interesting to see exactly how close that's going to go. But looking at the likes of Adam Morgan then, still trying to push on, so Brucey Collins will spoil that symmetry now of the Alpha train. But Andy White then, he's got a huge penalty. Not too sure why, but he's had a bit of contact somewhere on the lap there. Not too sure exactly what's going to happen. He's got the hazard lights on at the moment, whether he's having electrical issues with that Impreza at the moment. Nick's still there, and of course 10th place at the moment, so it is now around preferably 15 minutes to go. So poor old Nick in 10th place at the moment. Andy White's still there. Has he got the hazards on or has he turned them off? No, it looks like he's turned them off now, but it's going to be very interesting. Brian Moncani then on an out lap, but looking exactly what's going to happen. But we'll see exactly what tyres Brian has gone on to. Just have a quick look. He's gone on to, I don't know whether that's a glitch or whether he's, because it says he was on the softs to start with and now he's back on the softs, but I'm not too entirely sure about that. But STM Splash goes into pit lane. Chris Wheatley gives us a bit of a fight, tipping them curbs, but you can see Stu Shelton and the other guy, the Danish guy making his debut in Eldar Sim Racing, up against Stu Shelton. We'll see how quick it's going to go between these two. I think, as I said, around now 14 minutes, I think, of race time left. It's going to be very quick to see what's going to happen between these guys, but you can just see that Chris Wheatley in first place, followed by Katanis on an out lap, just dived into pit lane. Maybe it's sort of a splash and dash, if you pardon the pun, for Katanis trying to get to the end of the race now. It is almost thereabouts, but Gavin Kingston trying to get past Stu Shelton. He's there, but Panos is there. Adam Morgan in 6th. Brucey Collins now 7th. So he's spoiled the Alpha symmetry just about, because Brian Moncani's 8th, but still an Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With Brian Moncani on an outlap, pushing on as best as he can though. Andy White, of course, Subaru WRX in 9th, having a bit of a disaster at the moment. He's probably thereabouts. And of course Nick, almost a lap, yeah, he's a lap down, or almost trying to catch up for time as Andy White gets a bit crossed up out of Murray's corner. But I think it's going to be a bit of a do or die moment with around probably 12 minutes of racing left. I'm not too sure because we don't have the counter, so I'm going to have to second guess how long's left, but could be a very interesting end to this race as Nick pushes on. He said he was going to struggle with that McLaren. I think he's trying to chase time. Adam Morgan with a 1.5 second penalty now. And what has happened to Adam Morgan to get that penalty? That's going to allow Brucey Collins to potentially get 6th place, so he'll spoil the symmetry again. So could be very interesting to see exactly why these guys are getting penalties for. But race leads also changed because Chris Wheatley's been overtaken by Katanis. Then you've got Kingston versus Stu Shelton. He's got past Stu for that 3rd spot on the podium at the moment, it seems. But then obviously Brucey Collins has now got past Adam Morgan, because with Adam Morgan's penalty it's getting a bit fraught now towards the latter half of the race. Now it's around 11 minutes to go, I think. Let's work it out if we can. But then you've got, of course, Andy White, and then of course poor old Nick with that McLaren. It's probably that sponsorship that's letting him down. But we'll see how well he does for the latter half of the race. It seems that Chris Wheatley's on a mission, but whether he gets that mission with the likes of Katanis, he's almost clipped the wall there with going up towards Skyline, but he's trying to push on. See how bright and a bit dark it's got, but it's going to be very close with that tailwind now coming towards them slightly, with Stu Shelton almost trying to get on back onto the podium, but kind of suffering at the moment. Panos in 5th, Brucey Collins 6th, Adam Morgan 7th, Brian Moncani is there. So Brucey Collins is actually technically spoiled the symmetry of Alfred's. And then you've also got the likes of Andy White in 9th, and of course Nick is still unfortunately a lap down. It could be 2 laps down for Nick with around 10 minutes to go in this race. He's going to have to try and push on, but I think it's going to be a bit of a close call, because looking at Katanis, he knows that Nick's ahead of him, but is he going to play it safe, or is Nick going to play it safe? I think he's there, but he smashes the lap record by around 2 minute point 12.9, but then he's lost a bit of control trying to catch and trying to get up to Nick, but he's allowed Chris Wheatley through. I think he's got a bit of dirt on his tyres, so the long race leader, he's had a bit of an issue, but could be very careful to see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of Katanis and of course Chris Wheatley. But I think they're trying to see where Nick is. He's got the guys chasing and breathing down his neck. He's got quite a bit of time with the likes of Chris Wheatley there, with of course Katanis and the likes of the Danish guy in of course third place, with the likes of Stu Shelton still fourth. Panos is there. Brucey Collins spoiling that Alpha Symmetry, still in sixth place at the moment, with of course Adam Morgan, then of course Brian Moncani, and of course Andy White, and then poor old Nick. Oh, he's hit the barrier again. That is unfortunate for the McLaren driver. He's not had the best of luck tonight, I'll tell you. He is literally said he was going to suffer, and he's now picked up a 3-second penalty, and I think it's not going to do him the world of good. It was around about 8 minutes, if that, of the race, but Chris Wheatley trying to make it a race win tonight. Is he going to be able to do that? We'll find out as best as we can, but Katanis literally putting him under pressure. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly how close it's going to get for the race lead, because they're almost nose to tail going out of the chase towards Murray's Corner for the next lap, so it could be very close. It could be around 7 minutes to go in this race. It's a bit of tooth and nail, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen, because Katanis there is literally on the money, but he's going to get close as he can. But Stu Shelton is pushing on for fourth, but I think he will be finishing fourth, unfortunately, unless something happens in the meantime. But the likes of Panos is there, Brucey Collins in of course sixth, but then you've got Adam Morgan literally pushing on in of course seventh, with the likes of Brian Moncani in of course eighth. But Andy White with a 2.5 second penalty. He's had a bit of a disaster himself, but I think the walls aren't forgiving here at Bathurst, and I think it's a bit unfortunate, but hopefully he'll be pushing on. But Nick is there, then he's got around 6 minutes to go, I think, but it's hard to tell with the timer not displaying. But it looks like Katanis is trying to get past Chris Wheatley for that race lead. These two could be having a battle towards the end of this race. It's almost a bit of a topsy-turvy campaign for these guys. It's going to be a long season ahead, but looking exactly what's going to happen for the likes of Chris Wheatley and of course Katanis going down Conrad Straight, what could be for another couple of minutes, but I believe 6.5 minutes left of this race. I'm not too sure how long is roughly left, but see exactly how close as Katanis gets back into the race lead. Then nicely done before the chase. So be pushing on quite a bit, but you can just see how close the likes of Katanis and Chris Wheatley, they're going to literally, I think these two are going to be the ones to watch. But we'll see exactly what's going to happen with the likes of the Danish driver in third, then Stu Shelton fourth. I think it's going to be 5 minutes remaining of the race, but Panos is still there, and of course fifth place someone Brucey Collins is on a mission. He's trying to literally push on in sixth place with the likes of Adam Morgan. He's got a penalty, so he's had a bit of a drama somewhere. Brian Moncani may be catching him up slightly. And then of course Andy White, he's on an outlap, so he's obviously pitted. And of course poor old Nick's not had the best of nights in that McLaren, and poor old Darren with a mechanical fault in his Nissan. But hopefully Darren's back next week on the grid. But these two at the moment are battling nose to tail as we've got around 4 minutes to go. Then it's going to be a bit of a close battle galore between the likes of Katanis and of course Chris Wheatley. We'll try and keep an eye on these two for a moment because it's probably the closest battle we've got at the moment. I think the likes of Stu Shelton is there, but I think Nick's that car in between. I'll have a look. Yes, it is. But it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how close it's going to get. I think 4.5 minutes left of racing, but it's also like 2:12 of a lap, so you know it could be thereabouts, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Let's get a bit close with the likes of course Katanis trying to push away. He's actually still smashing the lap times as he goes down towards the chase. What could be a very interesting night of racing for him. Pushes that Alpha quite well. He's going to be there about, I think he's got around 3 minutes to go, so he could be going now what could be the final lap because of how many seconds a lap, but we'll soon figure it out. But he's got a 2:12.764, so he's literally smashing them lap times, and seems to be very interesting to see exactly how close it's going to get. But you know, who knows exactly what's going to happen as you've just joined us with the race. I think this could be the final lap, I'm not too sure, but we'll soon figure it out in a moment or two. But you've got Kungston, the Danish driver, third, with Stu Shelton fourth, Panos still fifth, Brucey Collins spoiling that symmetry of Alphas, and of course sixth place at the moment. He's doing a stellar job to keep it together. But Adam Morgan there in seventh, Brian Moncani now eighth. He's catching up to Adam Morgan slightly with the likes of Andy White, and of course then Nick. Poor old Nick's had a bit of a torrid time tonight. I think he knows that McLaren is going to be pushing on quite a bit, but Katanis then literally nose to tail. He's about to go down the mountain now, what could be the final time of racing, or the final lap of racing this time round, but we shall see. But it all depends, because the gap he's got from Chris Wheatley is around 5.3 of a second, but who knows exactly what's going to happen for him. But he's thereabouts with the likes of Chris Wheatley on course for a stellar second place. But let's see what happens, because not really. Just having a quick look, is Adam Morgan getting caught by Brian Morgani slightly, but I want to see what happens to of course Katanis, whether he goes on to the final lap or whether he completes the race. It's yet to be seen, but he's thereabouts. He's got a minute and a half, so he may be the only one that crosses the line and takes another lap, but it could be a final lap. Chris Wheatley may be the same at the moment, and with the likes of the Danish driver, he could be the other one. So it may be three people that battle it for the race lead, but we'll soon find out with the likes of Stu Shelton. He may be able to cross the line now, but it's almost an hour of racing. So Panos Forganistan, the Greek, is he going to be the first to finish? But yet to find out. But we'll see in a moment or two, and I think that is actually him finished. So Panos is the first to finish tonight, but he finishes fifth. And I'll tell you what, Brucey Collins will be sixth. Brian Moncani's actually got past Adam Morgan on the last lap. Didn't see that, because we were trying to see exactly what's going to happen. But Brian will come home in seventh then. Adam Morgan in, of course, eighth place. Nick unfortunately 10th, with the likes of Andy White, of course, now in ninth place. But Katanis then, he will be the first winner of the Endurance League on a Monday, and I'll tell you what, he will be delighted with that, with the likes of Chris Wheatley and then of course Kunsten, and of course Stu Shelton. But it's now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the end, I'll tell you what, it has been a bit of a topsy-turvy night of racing. It's been battles galore, there's been a few cars in the wall, there's been a few scars. But I'll tell you what, it's been a great night of racing. I'll tell you what, fair play to these guys sticking out for an hour long. I know Darren's had a bit of an issue tonight, but hopefully when he's back to full fitness, he will be battling for race leads and race wins. But see what Katanis can do going through the final corner now. Runs a bit wide, but he will be taking the race victory. He will be delighted with that. Flashes the lights in delight with Chris Wheatley also in second place. He will be delighted on his Monday night return after winning the BMW Series. And then of course the Danish driver, I think he's going to make his one off, or whether he comes back in next week with Stu Shelton also there in finished in fourth place. But that has been a very interesting night of racing, I will tell you that, for next to nothing. But hopefully we'll get the race replay in a moment or two. But I'll tell you what guys, it has been an absolute crazy night of racing. I didn't really get the results, but we'll see what happens for round number 2. Not too sure what the calendar is for this Endurance League on a Monday at the moment, but who knows, and I do apologise with the stream being in 3 parts tonight. First one was probably the game did crash on me when the lobby reset, and then I had to reset the stream as well as reset my game, and then the game completely crashed, and then I had to reset it again. But never mind, I do apologise for that. I'm going to go because my voice is well and truly disappeared. But I will get the race if I can. I'll get the replay, but doesn't look like I can, which is a bit frustrating. But hey ho, never mind. I've been Hoppers for Eldars in Racing. Thank you for tuning in tonight. As I say, I do apologise for the 3 streams. It wasn't the best, but thank you for watching. I will see you guys Friday for round 4 of the Shalom BTCC. I believe we are at Trail Mountain for round number 4, the championship rounds 7 and 8 of the championship. That will be a thriller. I can't wait to see what happens then. But until then guys, I've been Hoppers for Eldars in Racing. Take care, enjoy your rest of the week, and I will see you very soon. Ta-ra.